Hey everyone, JK here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a custom body in the Viscera Detail Editor. For this tutorial, you will need 3 pieces of software. I will link them all down in the description. They're all free, except for the Viscera Editor. You need Viscera for that. So you need Blender, Autodesk FBX Converter, and of course the Viscera Detail Editor. The first step to making a custom object is, of course, picking what object you want to make. Now let's say I want to make the uncommon engram from Destiny. So I go to Sketchfab and I find the model I want. You don't have to use Sketchfab, I'm just using it for the tutorial. So for prepping the model, you want to import the model that you're going to use for your object. I would import a reference scale, like model, so that it's not too big in the game. I will provide one in the description that I use. So if I import my scale ref, you'll notice this model is way bigger than the player character, and this is how big it'll appear in game. And I don't want the object to be this huge, so you just select the object you're going to use. I would just press S, just move the mouse till it's generally a good size. I'll move it to like here. So you can just delete your reference. And another thing that you want to keep in mind is for all objects, you want the origin, which is basically where these two lines meet, to be like right around the middle of the object. So now that you've got your engram the right size and it's right in the middle, it has the origin in it, you want to go to File, Export as an FBX, and just name whatever you want. I'll name mine engram. The next thing you want to do is open the FBX Converter. And down here you'll press Add to add your model. Pick whatever you exported from Blender. And then you can just press Convert. And it should convert. It might ask you if you want to replace the original file, just say sure. So you just open the Viscera editor. And the first step is you're going to want your, so for this file, for the object, you do not want any of the assets related to it in your level package. Because this, if you do that, you won't be able to bring it to the office. It might cause some other issues. So to create a package, if you don't have one already, just skip to the timestamp on screen. Press New. So this right here, this isn't making a new package, it's making a new anim set. But we can use this to make the new package, and we'll just delete this anim set. So I'll just name this Object Tutorial. Okay, so just press that. Might load a second. If it opens this, just close it. So then you're going to right click your thing. It should be in the new packages section. Press save. Okay. And then just put it in your content mods folder, or if you have a subfolder in your mods folder, put it in there. Save. Okay, so now if you go to where you saved it, you should see it. Yep, object tutorial. So now you want to, now you can find your model that you converted. So here's my model. Yeah, you can just drag and drop it onto the content browser. For organization, I like to do name my objects in the game SM underscore and then what it is, just so I can easily filter out static meshes and stuff. And for the grouping, I put it in static. You don't have to do this. This is just my preference. So then here's my model. So you have a few simple tools here. The 6 DOP, simplified collision. This will just make a box around your model. So these 3 options, they make the collision around a certain axis. Like this one is the x-axis. So you can see it mostly around this direction. If I do Z, you can see it makes it more like a cylinder. And this one, what is this one? Okay, this one is just around all the axes, and I think this is, yeah, this is the same. sphere. It's a sphere. And now the one that's probably going to be most useful to you, unless you have a very simple thing, is the auto convex collision. So this, it basically generates collision around your model. Yeah, kind of hard to see. For something like mine, this probably won't be the best option, honestly. This one looked pretty good. But for this one, let me just show you, like this, basically the higher this number is, the more detail, but be careful with this. If it's too high, it could crash your editor. This like changes how many like just how many different vertices it allows for the hole. And this is how many times it's allowed to split. So I'm not going to use this for my model just because I don't think it'd be the best for mine. I'm just going to put it on this one. So now that you got that, you don't really have to worry about light map stuff if you're just using this for an object. But you do want to get a material. Now, since this isn't really a material tutorial, I'm just going to quickly import a texture. So either just take like a PNG or a TGA file. So I'm just going to quickly import the emissive, since that looks most like a diff on this thing. So just again, the name stuff is preference. Just import this. So make a new material. You just drag wherever your texture is onto the material editor after you create your material. Just put it in diffuse. If you want, like, for more complex materials, there you can find tons of tutorials and stuff for Unreal Engine 3 materials. I can link some in the description. So there's my very simple material. So you find it in the content browser, select it, and just press the green arrow on your material slot. And bam! So my thing has a very simple material now. So the static mesh should be completely ready to be used as an object. If you want to real quickly just to see the scale, you can drop it in your level. See, it's pretty small. Yeah, pretty small. So let me save my package real quick. Okay, next step for making an object is going to be making the actual object. So for this, make sure on all assets and think of an object that's in the game that's probably like pretty similar to the object you already have. For me, I'm just gonna put like I guess I'll just do a crate. So I just search up crate, find one of these, and then let's just say I'll just do the crate one small. So for this, so for the objects in this game, there's two different type of actors: the factory and the archetype. So when you search for crate, the ones with images are going to be factories. So I would open the properties of the factory, and then just press the lock so you can come back. So just press the lock. So for the factory, this is mostly, I think you need it for stuff like crates. But it's mostly just like if you want to have your object be able to like have the physics woken up on the start of the level and not just be like in place until a character grabs it or something else touches it. Because for some reason only the factories have the wake RB on spawn, which basically just means it immediately like falls down. So for this, if you want to use the factory, we'll just talk about that later. So for the archetype, when you open the properties of that, you see this debris template thing in VC Mesh Factory Debris. Press the magnifying glass to find it in the content browser. You can just close this for now. Then right click whatever like selected. And this is the archetype for the object. So create sub archetype. So now in here you want to find the package you created. So, object tutorial. I'll just put it in objects for grouping, and I like to name mine like object underscore then what it is. And you can just name whatever you want. Okay, so now that you have this, so it's the exact same as the crate right now. So to make it like change to yours, you want to open VCD and mesh, static mesh component. For this, you want to find your model and put that in there. So now it's your object. And one thing I always recommend checking is type scale. And make sure all the scales are set to just like 1 in this section. Because if they're not that, it'll probably be smaller or bigger than your object. So another thing you want to check, sorry about that. Another thing you want to check is count as mess. This is pretty self-explanatory if you want your object to be trash or if you don't want it to be trash. Another thing is, so depending on what object you selected, I actually can't really remember how to do it. It's been a while, but okay. So next thing you want to check is the collision. So there's 2 options you're going to use. No collision. This will, hold on. Okay, so no collision. So this will basically mean that you can walk through it, and block all, which will mean that you can walk on it. For this, I'll just have no collision. Okay, so after that, next thing you want to check is it. So you want to open the material. So you want to type materials, and you want to make sure that there's no slots here that are being like so. Say if like you see like 2 slots like this with stuff in them, you want to press like this remove all items, just to make sure that like your materials aren't being overwritten on your static mesh. Next thing, if you want to change the sounds, you can type in sound, and then just type in like impact or pickup, and you'll see a ton of sound cues for the different sounds you can use. So type in pickup, set it to sound cues, and you can see there's a ton of different pickups. So I'll say I want to use the artifact one, so I just select that, put in the green arrow. So impact. Say I want to use the artifact again. Put that in there, and your sounds should be good. Now you can make custom sounds, but I'm not gonna go over that in this video. If you want me to cover that in a separate tutorial, I can do that. Okay, so I think everything should be good. So now this object should be ready if you aren't gonna make a factory for yours. So if I just go to the objects, drop that in my level. Yep, there it is. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly load the level, see if it works. Let me make sure that the game type is set. Okay, so I'm just gonna play in the viewport. I think it's safe to say the game type was not set right. Okay, I just loaded up a level that's that I know is the right game type. Okay. So use my object, just drop it in there. We can see that the object now works. So this is the basics to getting an object started. For more of this stuff, I'd recommend just looking through the names, read the names. I think some of them have comments for what they do. Just like figure out what does what. So I'm gonna finish up the material. And there we go. After some work, the object is finished. There we go. That's how you can make your own object inside of Viscera. Okay, so now we're gonna go over the factory. So for the factory, so let's just find the object that you originally copied. So I did this crate. So this is the factory. So all you have to do is create sub archetype. Put it in my package. Tutorial. Uh, where is it? Okay, I think it's called objects. And then for these, I like to do fac underscore, then what it is. So then my package. Let me fully load this. Okay, so now open the properties of your factory. And the most important thing is on this debris template, you want to select your object. And then, okay, you got to select your object, copy full name. Where is that? Okay. Copy full name to clipboard. Then just paste it in here. And so now this will spawn this. But again, since you copy this, you want to check the materials, make sure there's nothing overwriting it. And also check the scale. So now this factory is perfect, and when I place it, I can wake it. So yeah, factory is pretty easy. This isn't necessary. I normally don't make them unless I have to, just because they're kind of tedious. But if you want to, you can make it. So that right there is the full process on making a custom object in Viscera. Just so you know, this will not work for custom like bodies. I'll make like a separate tutorial down the line for that. This is just for objects, and it works for jibs too. Okay, I decided I'm gonna go over a few of the properties to help you guys out. So most of them, I'm not sure if all, like if you copy something and it's not here, you might just not be able to do it for that object. But everything should have a light component. Now this is pretty self-explanatory. You can make your object glow. Just know this might be taxing on frame rate if you have a lot with that like glow. So the properties on this are pretty self-explanatory. Radius, light component. You set the brightness, the color. If you don't want it to glow, just make it untick enabled. All these different settings, pretty self-explanatory. Now in VC debris, okay, so splat class. This is basically what type of like splat it makes. So if you don't want to make any mess, have it on none. But then if you scroll down, where are they? Is it VC? Fine. Oh yeah, VC. Let me just look real quick. I can't remember what they are. Anything's called jib. Chunk. Okay. So for regular blood, they're like VC splat. These are the splats. Okay. So look for VC splat and just whatever one would be best for yours. Just be careful. Some might not work right. I'm not sure. So like yeah, if you don't want it to splat, just leave it at none. Destroy when stuck. Just leave these two on, because these basically mean if it's stuck, it'll get despawned. The health, pretty self-explanatory. Higher health, longer it takes to like burn it. So this might be required for like some things you're having issues. The hold distant offset. Basically, the higher this number is, the farther away it'll be like held from your camera. Fixed upright, it'll make it stay upright. The stiffness scale. So this basically means like, you know, in Viscera, when you like move around, the object like kind of like takes a second to follow. If you like turn that up, it like will be like locked right in front of you. must stack upright. This basically means if it's like if it's not upright, people will lose a little little bit of points. Throw force scale. I'm guessing that's it's like how far you can throw it. Count as mess. Notify. I don't know what that does. The grab voice event. This is for if your level uses the Shadow Warrior voice, you can like say what type of line he should say. Same for the burn. It is collectible. Yeah, that's if you can take it back to your office. And pen. I'm not sure what that does. Yeah. Okay. It's pretty self-explanatory. So, that is the entire tutorial on how to make a custom object in Viscera, Factory, and Archetype. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment. If you want me to do tutorials and anything else regarding modding for this game. If you want to reach out to me, I'm on Steam and Discord. Same name as jkcrmptn. They'll be in the description too. Well, thank you for watching. Have a good night or day.